Shade Tree Commission meeting for May 9th, 2013. We have no Title 33 right-of-way issues or Title 37 landscape ordinance issues. Ron Lucas is still on leave, and I don't have anything to report about maintenance of the tree canopy. One item, though, that was brought to my attention recently by a concerned citizen was the a rule that applies to parking areas. She raised this in the context of Arts West, but I think it actually applies in other areas, and I was going to use this meeting as a chance for the Tree Commission just to review this part of the City Code. The particular piece of code is Title 23, the Zoning Code, and in 230805 it talks about the development and maintenance of parking areas and structures and loading and unloading. The preamble begins, every parking area of 4 or more cars, any structure used as a parking garage or any loading area, or the portion of any access drive or driveway on the city right-of-way shall be developed and maintained in accordance with the following requirements. Plans for such areas shall be reviewed, approved and modified by the Service Safety Director or designated agent to ensure compliance with these regulations. Part A reads, off-street parking areas or structures and off-street loading areas shall be effectively screened. The screening shall be on the sides which adjoin, abut, are adjacent to, or face premises situated in any residential zone or institutional building. Landscaping plan is required and must be submitted to the Athens City Tree Commission for review and recommendation forwarded to the Service Safety Director for approval. That's the part of the zoning code that I think we need to pay some attention to. I was not aware of it until it was pointed out to me. Currently we tend to only work under the auspices of Title 37 when we're dealing with the parking areas, particularly of commercial properties. And clearly Title 37 does address a number of these issues, but this particular regulation appears to be a little bit broader in the sense that Title 37 is applied whenever a new development is occurring or a redevelopment of a site, a major redevelopment of a site is occurring. Whereas this doesn't address that issue at all. So, what I'd like us to do is to see if we can find some areas, and I know of several, that don't appear to be complying with this, and then we will report them to the Code Director and see how he reads this particular section. Comments?
I would agree. It's pretty clear about the screening for anything adjoining a residential zone.
I think it's in line with what we're suggesting as the minimum requirement in any new development, where we have asked the City Council to change Title 37 to include wording along the lines of where any development in a business zone abuts a residential zone, there'll be a 4-foot buffer, at least, in depth around it.
Well, it says screened, so unlike the other ones, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be vegetation, right?
No, it doesn't.
I would assume it would be a fence as well.
So it could be, unlike the other ones where it's pretty clear that it has to be vegetation.
Yeah.
But we would rather have vegetation.
Of course, and you know, I think the implication of it being a landscape plan is suggests that that was what council intended when this was written. But clearly, I think you are correct that a fence.
So if someone could argue, I don't want to put in a bush, I can put in a fence, and there you go.
Yeah. And a 6-foot fence, I think, is allowed in all areas, and so that would be a reasonable thing to do. Any other comments? If not, is there any other business? We then have the minutes from the last meeting. So if you'd like to look over those.
Are there any new updates on 57 East State Street, 55 Stewart, or Kroger's?
I haven't received anything from the code office. They said they would check into them.
So I was on the other that we talked about, the Ginkgo near Court Street Diner. That's more in front of Blue Eagle.
Okay. We can.
And it is growing. It's still alive. Amazing.
And I don't know if we might want to amend this to our discussion that we had prior to the meeting regarding seeing how that tree progresses during this growing season.
It could put, I think, I mean, it actually looked pretty vigorous.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't recommend actually removing it just yet, considering the cost. And it is, the caliper is actually pretty decent on that. I
noticed
I
that
just
as
drive
well.
by, it's at least 2 inches at least,
Mhm.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it might actually have a great capacity of, if people don't, break down those tender twigs, of kind of recovering.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the whole summer for it to grow in now.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Till late August, I believe.
Yep.
So maybe on this where we recommended to replace it, maybe we,
Yeah,
Delay
I
the-
can
Okay.
add a note on here that,
Okay.
that
Okay.
since the meeting and so on, and that we should consider a tree guard for it as well.
I move to accept the minutes if nobody has any comments.
I second.
Thank you. Any objection to approving the minutes of the last meeting? Hearing none, we have minutes from the last meeting. The next meeting will be June 13th. The Tree Commission is adjourned. Thank you.